Hello? How are we? Are we good? How are we feeling today? Good morning! Or I mean, good morning for me. It's a good morning for me. I don't know what time zone all y'all are in. Let me look at the comments. Hello, hello, hello. I made a new VTuber wall on my wall and I was able to save the Lev printout for the new VTuber wall. It's a new VTuber wall! You're putting me on the new VTuber wall? That's awesome. Thank you. I'm so flattered. I'm so flattered. That's awesome. You're audible? I know. Crazy. OMG, I swear to God, anytime I come to a live stream, it's a different model. Sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. You know? Look. This is all just part of my, like, no, this is all just part of my long-term plan to become a, to, like, reach for my final form, you know? You know? I'm just trying to reach my final form. I like this model better. It's adorable. Thank you. I think it fits my gremlin-y personality. So. Hi, Slime! Hi. Yeah. No, I think it fits my personality of being weird and gremlin-y and overall just a kind of odd person. I don't know if... So, like, this probably won't be the model, like the only model that I have. Actually, it definitely won't be, because I know myself, unfortunately. But for this sort of a thing, I think. You never say hi when you raid. I assume you run straight to work, but I hope stream was good yesterday. Yeah, I do. I try to stay. So I usually will like be listening. So, but I can't usually say hi. because yeah, I'm like running to my next thing. See, the problem is that the problem is that I want to spend as much time as I can. I want to spend as much time as I can with my babies, my sakubaras, which means that I go to the very last moment. Well, okay, there's that, and also that I'm just not great at time management as a person. Yeah, I'm not great at time management, so then I'm like, oh shit, I have no time. I have to go to the next thing. So I always forget. This is the thing. This is why I'm always a little bit late, is because I forget to allot time before I start to like get ready, and then I forget to allot time after I end to like be a polite raider. You know, I always forget about that. I was telling Seek, I hope you aren't overworking yourself. No, I'm good. Well, no, I'm good. I'm doing better. I was overworking myself a little bit for a little while. 500 plus models by the end of this month and 1 million models by early 2026. It's already early 2026. Slime, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for the 5 months. Thank you for 5 months. Bog. 5 months. Bog. Bog. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm downloading some worksheets for us to do together. Oh, we're doing follow age. Morning, Liv. I'm exhausted. Hi, Blue. 6 months, 2 days. 5 months, 29 days. Longer than slime. I mean, Rose knew that I was going to exist before I existed. You know, she was like, with like slime. Or no, with Seek. Yeah. No, because like, I think, Rose, you've known Seek for a long time, right? So Rose doesn't surprise me. Also, hi, Rose, long time no see. Hi, friends. Bonehead, I just sworn I got here first, though. No, because like, Rose came with the Seek, yeah, who like, I was talking to before I even started streaming. You were literally there from the first one, so. Buffy follows bottoms. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following me, even though I'm not a bottom, but that's okay. Nah, I've been busy. I mean, we've all been busy, you know, with the New Year's and holidays and everything. I always come with Seek. Pause. Wait. That's kind of sus. It's been a while. How goes it? I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Let me just shut up some things here. I probably saw her TikTok pre-debut and followed her, but I wasn't there at debut. Yeah. I think that sounds about right. Also, I'm pretty sure some of you, there was like someone who like unfollowed and followed again as like a joke or something. Maybe that was slime. OMG, it's an apple. Hi. Apple, 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 apple. Seek isn't here, so I can be dirty. Wahahaha. I'ma cry. I did it to myself. I think he might have. Okay, I saw you guys trying to do these, so I think I think there we go. Okay. Thank you for the daily check-ins. Thank you for the daily check-ins. Thank you for the daily check-ins. Hi, SZA. All right, well, if you want to waste your channel points on that, that's your prerogative. Where is my downloads folder? There it is. Oh, hello. Thank you for following Megurin Luca Lover 67. 67? 67? Wait, why are we huddling around and crying? Wow, and no hi for me. Hi, Freezer Milk. No, that was for you. We are in a live stream. It's okay. Some people call me Smile Slime. What? What is happening? We are in a live stream. What does we are in a live stream have to do with anything, huh? Oh my god, you guys, stop bonking me. Scuff is live stream exclusive DLC. This, okay, but excuse me. This is my question. Who? What's Scuff? There's no Scuff happening. By the way, Docky, what season is it where you are? It just turned winter here and it's super cold. It's winter where I am. It's very cold. It's very, 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 very cold. I'm saving all my points because I like to see the number go up. I'm the same way. I'm like, see number go up. Maybe one day this channel will have 100, not this channel, this is a hypothetical other channel that I watch and I have channel points in. So this other hypothetical channel, maybe they would have like, someday they'll come up with one of those like 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 channel point redeems that's like, I get some art for free, or I get a 5-minute conversation for free or something, you know, that'd be fun. Oh no, I'm gonna live stream before my stream. I'm gonna take her scuff with me. Yeah, you probably will. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's probably, you probably will. You probably will. You almost definitely will. Like, and if not, if you don't take it with you, then I'm gonna raid your stream and then insert it into your stream. Yup. I have 14k points. It's up to 15.4k. Oh my god. Spectral. And you're so busy all the time too. So yeah, you really haven't used any of them. I've gotten used to burning channel points on Gamba, so I'm used to seeing it go down. That's terrible. Never forget the day that Lev had multi-stream working perfectly, then popped into my stream afterwards and fucking nuked it. I know, I'm sorry. I was like, I think I cursed you a little bit because I was finishing my stream and I was like, wow. You know, I've been multi-streaming to YouTube and vertical YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and Twitch. Crazy. This never happens to me. And then it immediately died. I usually stay in the stream, then I fall asleep. Oh, I'm sorry. He's gonna deliver the dominoes of scuff. Yes. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That was loud. I still don't know how to vertical stream. Honestly, I've given up a little bit. I have it set up, but like... Okay, bye sis. Jump scare me and then leave. Good night. Thank you for the 5-stream streak. Loud ass X-Files theme. I mean, that's the point. Back on gaining my streak. Oh, 3-stream streak. Thank you, Peachy. I know you guys are all busy, so I appreciate it. I wish I had more time to sit in people's streams. Damn. I'm never gonna build up a stream streak. But that's because, unfortunately, I have a job. I'll probably set up Restream and vertical and shit one day in the future when I'm not lazy. Well, you don't have to do Restream, so you could do what I do, because Restream is free for 2 platforms. So like, you could do Restream for free and Restream to YouTube and stream to Twitch. Oh yeah, I'll do the subscription and stream everywhere. You can do that. And the nice thing about Restream that I do like is there's 2 things. One is that I think it's less load on your computer because you're streaming to their servers and then their servers are streaming out. And also they have a really nice chatbot that will copy and paste chats from other streams into all the other streams, right? But then, yeah, Stream Elements, it's not Stream Elements itself, it's SE Live, se.live is what I use. It's a free plugin. Yeah. And it works pretty well. And honestly, it's a little bit easier than Restream in terms of making sure that your titles are like the same everywhere. My issue with Restream is that it kept messing up like my titles, so I kept having titles that were like my old titles even though I changed it to the new ones. I hated it. That part was really annoying because like once you start a Twitter stream you can't change the title. Same thing for TikTok. Yeah. Oh true, I want the Restream bot for sure so it doesn't look like I'm talking to the voices. Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, no one really watches me on YouTube, to be honest. So I keep an eye on it, but yeah. My birthday is soon. Shit, I'll be 19. Fuck. Oh my god, you're just a little baby. You're just a little baby. I should start multi-streaming. My ass keeps forgetting my YouTube channel. I mean, the best part about multi-streaming to YouTube, and this is the only reason that I do it, honestly. Not the only reason. The biggest reason that I do it is so that it saves the VODs nicely. I'm going on YouTube now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could, and theoretically, actually, let me just move over now to I'm gonna move over to the work. We're doing skills training today, okay? I'm 26, I'm ancient. Looks at my 31-year-old hands. Okay, 26 and 31 is not old. You know, you don't count as old until you're like 50 something. Even 40s isn't that old. This is my feeling, you know? 50s is like 40s, 50s is like middle-aged, and then like 60s, 70s is like old. Yeah. But, you know, I guess in this world where like anyone who's not literally a baby is old. Like, goddamn, people on the internet are like, you're 20 something. You should have babies and not be a fan of anything. Why are you online, old woman? And I'm just like, go die. Yuzu! Yo yo! Hey! Lev is the old one here, so is Seek. Guys, I am younger than some of the people in my chat. That's what I'll say. 22 is the new 70. Freezer milk in the house, let's go. Oh! Oh, this is this is freezer milk. Okay. There we go. I gave you a nickname on my software so I could see who you are. My knees creaking, my hip groans, my bones are protesting. I mean, that's because we're all too sedentary. I already feel the cynicism of the elderly. I feel the urge to chase kids off my lawn. I mean, same, honestly. We gotta chase the children. We gotta chase them off our lawn. Our hypothetical lawn. My lawn is my Twitter For You page. The lawn is now the For You page. That's what I need to chase people off of. I mean, like, I'm ancient in terms of like internet time, you know? Anyways. Yahoo! Wow. I feel like it's kind of hard to see you guys' chats, but you know what? It's fine. Or maybe if I make it slightly smaller. Prove it, Lev! If there's no proof you're old, then... Wait, what? I thought that was a job application, got jump scared. It is not a job application, I promise. How do I do this so that it looks nice? OMG, is this continuing medical education stuff? Kind of, yeah. These are like worksheets and stuff. These are free online. So, I mean, so for the purposes of like stream stuff, I don't want to use anything that's like proprietary or that's like too official, you know? I want to use stuff that everyone can have access to also, because I think access is important. So this is a free, like, this is from Therapist Aid, therapistaid.com. They have, sorry, I got confused for a second. Yes. This is from therapistaid.com. They have a lot of like free worksheets and informational sheets and stuff for everyone to use. And they're like open access. So you don't even have to like log in or pay or anything like that. So those are the only things that I would probably use as resources, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel weird. You guys, I thought this was a Cult of the Lamb stream. I'm sorry. Yesterday was Cult of the Lamb. Today is this. My titles got a little bit mixed up because of Stream Elements. Stream Elements was like, your account is no longer connected. Die. And I was like, no, you die, bitch. And then I won the Battle of Dominance, but it took a little bit longer, and in my hubris, Stream Elements went behind my back and changed all of my freaking... what's it called? Changed all of my freaking shit. I'm very annoyed. Wait, why is this still... Let's see. You know what? Okay, my Twitter thing isn't working anymore. I give up. Lev dominance. I just spat my coffee. Yeah, I'm very dominant. I told Stream Elements, stop. Stop what you're doing. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you're right. The Twitter thing got messed up. So I'm very upset about it. The Twitter thing got messed up and it posted the thing that the title from yesterday. And I don't know why I did that. And now it won't let me start the stream again. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Yeah, I can't. Okay, I need to log into Stream Elements again, apparently. I'm sad. Okay, today's an educational stream. Okay, today's an educational stream. So, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for all of the education? Let's make myself. Oh, there. I'm a speaker at your school. This is a school auditorium vibe. Lev, I think you're the only person I know streaming that has a normal hic? Hic? H-I-C? What's that mean? Eh? What's H-I-C? Hic? Mike? Hic? Hiccup? Hiccup? Wait, why? What? What about what? What is this about hiccups? A normal hiccup? Who has hiccups? Ugh, my water tastes terrible. What the fuck? Why does my water taste so terrible? Give me 30 what? 30 minutes? You're not getting 30 minutes. 30 minutes? Alright, well, anyways, we're gonna do this with, like, the energy of a stand-up special, okay? Imagine that I'm standing in front of you at the school auditorium. That is the vibe. That's why I have a microphone, okay? Boop, boop, boop. Is this thing on? Okay, okay. Alright. Guys, I'm a very serious teacher, okay? You need to pay attention. Alright, passive. Okay, guys, we're gonna talk about communication skills, okay? Communication skills, and you can ask me questions. Ugh. Okay. Thank you for that. I don't really know how to describe it, but one of them sounded like a llama when they hiccuped, while the other always hiccuped. Can you stand farther away? I don't want to crank my neck too much looking so far down. Die. No. Okay. Fine. I might... There. Is this what we want? Is this the kind of energy that we want? All right. I guess this is the energy that we're going with today. All right. I suppose this is the energy that we're going with for today. This is fine. I'm gonna turn this off. All right, there we go. Okay, hello, my friends. We are here today It looks like the sheet is radiating light onto her. I know I had to turn the lighting effects off. All right. There's an apple for reference. See, I'm so many apples tall. All right, so starting, wait, can I show my cursor? Is that a thing I can do? Capture cursor, yes. Okay, it is working. Okay. So, passive aggressive and assertive communication, okay, guys. We're talking about communication skills today. So basically, I think one of the most fundamental things to talk about when it comes to communication skills is like how do you approach communicating with other people, right? And one of the most important things is to be able to communicate clearly, right? Because if you are not clear on what you want and what you need and what you're feeling and what you're trying to get out of the other person, then you're not going to get very far, right? And the issue with like passive and aggressive forms of communication is that you're both not communicating what your perspective is and what you need, and you're also like getting in your own way, as it were. Okay, so here's the thing though. I think it's really easy for a lot of people to fall into communicating in either a very passive or a very aggressive way, because we are used to, especially with people that we're close to, right? Or how do I put this? Okay. I think in most of our everyday interactions, right, a lot of human socialization and communication happens like between the lines, you know, like it happens with like subtle stuff and metaphors and like suggestions, you know, like, oh, it would be really nice if somebody did XYZ, right? And for a lot of like less important stuff and for more casual relationships, for more casual interactions in your life, everyday interactions, that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you like really need to properly communicate with someone, that's when this comes in handy. Okay? So, passive communication. Hello, ma'am. Hi, Yuki. Just reading the passive communication, most of the words described fits exactly like how people sometimes describe me in the past, like an arrow lodged into a target. Yeah, I also really relate to mostly being here most of the time in my life. And this is the problem, right? Is that like, some people are always here and that's a problem. Some people are always aggressive. A lot of people, especially nowadays, I think I see a lot of people that are very, very passive in how they communicate, and I'm including myself in that. I tend to be more passive in how I communicate, and the problem is that like you don't communicate what you want to communicate, and so then you get like deprioritized so consistently that then you overcorrect and then do this and then become aggressive, and that's not good either. So if I don't let people into my life, I can skip class. Buggy. I mean, you are an adult. You can skip class if you want. Okay? You can skip class. No one's forcing you to be here. If this is not something that you care about, you can skip class. I'm okay with that. This is your choice, you know? You are an adult. However, you have to talk to people, right? Like, I think everyone has to. No one's literally a hermit. There's always someone in your life. I'm late. Are we signing a passive-aggressive form? No, we are learning about communication styles. I'm like passive and aggressive when I talk. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing, right? It's really easy to do one or the other. Being assertive is like, it's hard. Okay, so starting with passive communication. During passive communication, I'll just read this like it's a PowerPoint. During passive communication, you're prioritizing the needs, wants. Nah, not really. Well, then see ya. Okay, bye. Have a good day. This is really just for fun, but that's okay. They don't express their own needs and they don't stand up for them. This can lead to being taken advantage of, even by well-meaning people who are unaware of the passive communicator's needs and wants. So this is the like, oh, it's okay. Like, I didn't really want to go anyway, but you did want to go. Or, oh, like the classic, right? Like, oh, I like, do you want to come to this thing? I'll buy you tickets. And be like, oh, I don't really want, you must be so busy and you don't, it must be such a hassle and I don't really want to be a bother, and then all these things. And then even if you want to go hang out with your friend, they're going to come off with feeling like you don't want to hang out with them. And so if they're going to end up not being able to like, accommodate, prioritize your needs, right? And so then, of course, you're gonna feel bad, Anyways, so this is people who are like really soft-spoken, allow others to take advantage, prioritize the needs of others, blah, 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 blah. Important ones, like not expressing your own needs or wants, right? And as like a little bit of a aside, right? I feel like this happens a lot with people who have been taught while growing up that asserting your own needs is aggressive, right? Like, or has been on the receiving end of some very aggressive people. Because if you are told, like, either explicitly or implicitly through the reactions of others, oh, Sasa, oh, I have school, see ya, okay, bye. Just realized Lev has legs. Also, I forgot to say hi, Vanny, hi, Zeke. Hi, Zeke. Good morning. So, a lot of people who tend toward passive communication, what has happened is that in their life, they've had a lot of interactions with people who their feedback is like, when you ask for what you need, that's aggressive, right? Like, why are you saying that you need XYZ or that you want XYZ? You're so ungrateful, you're so whatever, like, that's so rude, right? And so there's a lot of often like fear, like overwhelming fear of like, if I ask for what I want or say what I really want or say what I really mean, that's going to come off as aggressive or rude or things like that, right? And often where this comes from also is being on the receiving end of a very aggressive form of communication, right? When someone expects that their needs are the only needs that matter, right? The experience on the other end is a sort of like, you expressing your needs at all is aggressive to me, and my expressing my needs at all is it's not an ask. It's a tell, right? Like, if what you experience for a lot of your life is that when people say, oh, it would be nice if, or I would like you to, they're not asking, right? They're like telling you to do it, like, oh, I want to go to this place. They're not saying, I want to, do you want to, let's work on this together. It's like, your wants don't matter. My wants are the only ones that matter. So the act of me saying that I want to do something is me telling you that we're doing it, right? Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you. I hope you have a good day at class. Have a good school day. Yeah, so if you're with people who are like, my wants are the only wants that matter, and by saying that I want something, that means I'm telling you to give it to me, right? Regardless, like, I don't actually care what you think or what you want. Like, me saying that I want something is the same as asking you to do it. Then you get a lot of people who are used to overly accommodating aggressive people like that, and who feel like expressing their own needs or wants is an act of aggression, right? And so this is where you get people who are like, where you get conflicts and misunderstandings that happen a lot, which is like, oh, this person, what was it? What's a good example? It's like where you get the sort of situations where like someone who has a more passive style of communication or is used to dealing with more aggressive communicators will deal with someone assertive and read it as aggressive, right? Like someone will assertively say, oh, hey, could you help me with whatever, right? Like, are you free tonight? Could you help me watch my kids, right? And someone who's used to dealing with really aggressive communicators might read that as more aggressive than it is and say, oh, this person is telling me that I need to do this for them. And so then I'm afraid to say no or that I can't, right? And so let's say you have a passive person who's used to talking with aggressive people and an assertive person who's like knows how to ask for what they want, right? You might get a situation where someone is, on one hand, very well-meaning, saying like, oh, I'm just asking when I need help, right? I'm just asking for help when I need help. And if they say yes, that's great. If they say no, I don't really care. I'm just making my needs and wants known. And then the other side is like, they're always telling me to do things for them. They're always telling me to do things for them, and I feel so much pressure, and I'm so upset. And it's like, understandably, this is like a misunderstanding, right? But it makes sense. And so like that's, I don't know, this is something that happens a lot, right? And it's like, it's no one's fault, because like the person who's very passive, who's reading like, oh, you asking me if I want to do something is the same as telling me that I should do it, that is the kind of interaction they've probably experienced a lot in their life. But maybe it doesn't apply to this person. Anyways, that's passive, right? And so the problem with being passive is that if you don't express your own needs and you overly prioritize other people's needs and wants, even when people want to like prioritize your needs, they can't, right? Like if you never express, this is what I would prefer, this is what I would like to do, this is what I don't like to do, then if you never say those things, then it doesn't matter how much someone cares about you, they can't read your mind, right? And so they can't prioritize you. And so you are almost setting yourself up for a cycle of feeling uncared for, right? Of feeling unprioritized, because you're not prioritizing, you're not giving someone else the opportunity to prioritize you, right? Does that make sense? So this is like one of the ways in which a lot of like feelings and behaviors kind of reinforce themselves over time. Okay. Aggressive communicators. So people who are aggressive communicators are very like people who aggressively communicate. And we all do this. So to be clear, these are patterns of behavior, right? But we definitely all do this. We all at times are passive or aggressive or assertive, It's just that I think some of us tend more towards one and two. It's like a spectrum, right? It's a spectrum. We all go up and down the spectrum whenever we talk to people, okay? So aggressive communication, there's just some people who tend towards being more aggressive, but we're all aggressive. Even passive, very passive people become aggressive, right? It's you don't say anything about what you want for months and 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 months, and then you feel like no one cares about you, and then suddenly you're doing this. Suddenly you're like screaming, yelling, We all do this. Okay. Aggressive communication. When we are aggressively communicating. Oh, thank you for the hydration reminder. Later, Beam! Bye! Okay. Aggressive communication. Through aggressive communication, a person only expresses their own needs and expresses that only their needs, wants, and feelings matter. Okay? The other person is bullied and their needs are ignored. Right? Right? So they're easily frustrated, they use a lot of criticism, humiliation, domination, frequently interrupts or do not listen, unwilling to compromise. So this tends to happen in my experience and in my opinion, right? This tends to happen when people feel like there's no other way of getting what they want, right? So both passive and aggressive communication are about feelings of safety or feelings of unsafety, right? It's people who are passive, who when you're passively communicating, it's often because you don't feel safe to actually express what you need or want, right? Whether it is actually safe is a separate question. It's just a question of whether you feel safe, right? When we're aggressive, it's the I will not be listened to unless I do this, right? This is the only way for me to get what I want, need, deserve, etc. Often. It can also be the case that someone's an aggressive communicator because they have other issues like narcissism or some personality disorders or something like that, right? But in this class, we take a assume best intent approach, right? And so I think in social media and online, we talk enough about people who communicate aggressively because they're like kind of just assholes. I'm not talking about assholes. I'm talking about normal people. We all do this, right? I don't think there's anyone who exists in the world who is an adult that hasn't gotten into a screaming match with someone at some point in their life, right? I feel like we've all done it. And if you haven't, that's a little bit concerning. That's a little bit concerning and makes me think that you're suppressing your anger, which probably indicates other issues, okay? So we all get angry, which tends us towards being aggressive, right? And we all at times will communicate aggressively. And a lot of times when we're communicating aggressively, like what pushes someone towards more aggressive communication is the only way for me to be heard in this moment is for me to overpower the other person, right? And to like inflict my perspective and needs and desires and to say like, no, I'm the only thing that like you have to understand, you have to see this from my perspective, right? And that can happen from a lot of different things. Like it can happen from chronically feeling neglected, right? Or feeling like you're not being listened to or like the other person doesn't care, right? Like, it can also come from feeling like the other person is below you or like, you know, other like not great things, right? Like if you're like, I don't like this person, I don't respect this person, this person's below me, this person's beneath me, like all those things can make you more aggressive. Those things aren't necessarily, I wouldn't encourage that way of thinking about other people, but it happens, right? Like, I feel like this can happen in like power differentials a lot, like with bosses and subordinates, right? This person is an intern. Exactly, right? Like I feel like if you are in the workforce for long enough, you'll be on the receiving end of this by like a boss or a superior or something, right? It's the, what, you don't even know how to do this? What's wrong with you? You know, sort of vibe, right? Like, you're like, why are you even here? Blah, blah, blah. Like that sort of like mean girl aggressive thing. Criticism, humiliation, and domination. Yup. And I guess another way of understanding it too, because again, my thing is radical amounts of sympathy. I have been, unfortunately, on the receiving end of stuff like this, right? Like, I've had people say things like, you know, like, oh, you're a blah, 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 and you don't even know this. It's like, are you sure you've been to medical school? Are you sure? Like, you know, I guess it's kind of passive aggressive because it's not straight up you are stupid, but it's an aggressive form of communication, right? You know, like whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to give a bunch of examples, but a lot of times I feel like part of what it is like the stance when you're in an aggressive stance with communication. Part of what it is that you are not taking into consideration that the other person is a whole person with needs, wants, and feelings that matter, right? And you can get to that space of like, oh, I can't think of this other person as a whole person, from a lot of different ways. From like, I already am just the kind of asshole that thinks that interns are beneath me. Or you can get there from like, I am so overwhelmed from my responsibilities, from work, from the day. I do not have the mental or emotional space to care about 50 people. So I'm going to be an asshole. And that's not okay, right? I'm not saying that's okay, but like, to act like that doesn't happen means that it's just going to continue happening. Does that make sense? Like, we're all going to get to a place in our life someday where we are so at the end of our rope and so emotionally worn out that we do not have the space to have like a nuanced, deep conversation with someone else, right? It's going to happen because we are human. That doesn't mean that it's okay to bully someone, but it means it's important to recognize that you are a human being with weaknesses and limitations, and to say, you know what? If I have this conversation right now, I'm going to be an asshole. So I'm not going to have this conversation right now because I don't want to do that. That's, I think, what is important, right? Because you have to acknowledge the possibility that you could be an asshole and that you could be overly aggressive to avoid situations where that's going to happen and you don't want it to happen, you know? It's not okay, but it's kind of understandable. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, it's the classic. It's not an excuse, but it is an explanation, right? And so this is where, like, I think self-awareness is important. Because no one's going to become, like, you know, an endlessly patient and endlessly forgiving person, because that person doesn't exist, right? No one's perfect, and if we were, that would be kind of boring. So it's important to acknowledge when we're going to be fucking up so that you can avoid it and change it in the future, right? Because I feel like online these days, the overall tone is that, like, being a good person means that you never mess up and you never have the urge to mess up, and like, you don't even have the capacity to be an asshole. And I just think that sets everyone up for failure. Right? Like, we all have the capacity to be an asshole. Right? At times. Right? To, like, not being a bad person or not being a dick of a person, like, as a person, is not like that you never ever ever have the urge to act like an asshole, right? It's being able to acknowledge when you're getting into a place where you're more likely to act like an asshole, and being able to do what you need to do to mitigate that, either removing yourself from the situation or saying, like, now is not the time, I can't have this conversation right now, or being able to calm yourself down, honestly, right? Like, emotionally regulate. The thing is that, like, you can't emotionally regulate unless you know that you're having emotions that need to be regulated. And if you're coming at it from a perspective of, like, if I even want to say something mean, then that means I'm a terrible person, then you're never going to acknowledge to yourself that there's something that you're thinking or feeling that maybe needs to be regulated or dealt with, right? So anyways, self-awareness is the first step. We all have the capacity to be terrible people. That's what makes being a good person meaningful, right? This is becoming very philosophical, but, you know, like, this is like slightly unrelated, but only a little bit related. I talk with my husband about this all the time. So in Red Dead Redemption 2, in Red Dead, I promise this is related. I promise this is related. In Red Dead Redemption 2, there's good endings and bad endings, right? Like there's like well, I think it's honor, right? Like your actions, like your choices sort of get recorded in like, are you a more honorable kind of person or are you a more like shitty kind of person, right? And you have like a good ending and a bad ending. This is very simplified. You have a good ending and a bad ending. And in terms of like what ending is canonical or correct or intended, I'm like, Arthur Morgan mentioned, yes, Arthur Morgan. Like, the way, this is my perspective on Red Dead Redemption 2. My perspective on Red Dead Redemption 2 is that it's intended or, I think intended is probably the best word. It's intended to be a story of one man's redemption, right? It's intended to be a story of this criminal person who maybe is kind of selfish and all this stuff, and his redemption towards good, and then he, spoiler alert, dies at the end, right? However, there is a version of the story where he continues to be a terrible person and then has a kind of meaningless death, right? And if the intent, so this is the question, right? If the intent of Red Dead Redemption 2 is to largely tell the story of one man's redemption, why do you have the option to tell the story of him not being redeemed? Well, because in real life, and this is the magic of, I think, video games and the interactivity of it, right? In real life, the meaningfulness of the redemption is that you are choosing not to do the shitty thing, right? Like, the choosing to change and to become a better person and a more caring person doesn't mean anything unless you are actually choosing it, which means that you have to have the option to choose the other path, to choose wrong, as it were, right? So that's what I think. You need to have the option, or else choosing is meaningless, right? If you're just like ferried down one path, then like what even, like that doesn't, it's not as meaningful. You know what I mean? So anyways, yes, Arthur Morgan mentioned. Okay, let me read some comments. I think people don't also take into account the sociologic aspect as well when it comes to communication styles. If you grew up only around aggressive communication styles, you naturally take one on. And then Vanny says, the cases I've seen are either you take the one you're most exposed to or you take the exact opposite. Yeah, no, exactly, right? Like, if you're around, this is the thing, like the passive and aggressive communication tends to reinforce itself, right? If you're around a lot of really, really aggressive people, you either learn to become really passive for survival's sake, to say like, oh, the only way is like just to let them do what they want, like, because they're not going to listen to me. They're not going to care what I think anyway, so I might as well just like internalize what I need, internalize what I want, and just let them do whatever to limit conflict, right? Because conflict is uncomfortable or bad somehow, or dangerous even, depending on the situation, right? It's either that, or you go the other way and go, the only way for me to be heard is to be even more aggressive. And so then you learn to be aggressive, right? It's like one or the other. The need to be perfect can lead to a situation where you did something wrong and you psych yourself into thinking, I did nothing wrong. Exactly. I was talking about this on Twitter yesterday. Once again, this is off topic. This is kind of like the Arthur Morgan thing. I've been thinking about parasocialisms, because like, ad jump scare. Oh no, wait, there's an ad. Oops, sorry. I've been thinking a lot about like parasocial relationships. Okay, I got a migraine. Oh no! Wait, go sleep then. Go relax. Yeah, go sleep. Go to sleep right now. This is too much knowledge for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean for it to be too much. I don't mean for it to be too much. I'm sorry. I just think this is fun and interesting, okay? Okay, this is an aside, but it's like kind of related to the point of like being self-aware, being really important, right? Like, should I talk about this? I don't know if it's too off topic. Maybe I'll talk about it anyway. So basically, like, so I have spent a lot of time in my life in K-pop fandom, right? Too much time. I've been a K-pop fan since like 2010. I wouldn't describe myself as a big K-pop fan now. Like, I don't follow it as much anymore, but I've been like in the community and like seen the nonsense for years and years and years and years and years, right? And like this came to mind because people have been talking recently about like VTubers and relationships and stuff like that, right? Like, oh, you can't be a successful VTuber while being in a relationship. And I don't think that's true, first of all. But like, to explain what I think happens, right? Like, I think when a VTuber reveals they're in a relationship, or any person you have a parasocial relationship that reveals they're in like a long-term relationship or something like that, I think like the issue isn't the relationship itself, right? I don't think the issue is the relationship itself. I think a lot of people don't actually care that much if their ushi or whatever is like in a relationship or married. Like, it's not the people that are upset when they find out that an idol that they love has been in a 10-year relationship and never told anyone is usually not because they think they were going to get into a relationship with that person, right? All the people that are upset, they're not all upset because they wanted to date this person and now they can't. That's not what it is. And I think by saying that that's all that it is and that there's no reason for people to be upset sort of makes things worse, actually, right? Because they are upset. It's not because they want to be in a relationship with this person. I think what it is it's a sense of betrayal, right? Is it a real betrayal? No. But our brains are not designed for the internet, right? Our brains are designed for like human one-on-one real world social interaction, right? And in a human one-on-one real world social interaction, someone that you know well and care for, talk to every day or talk to most days of the week, right? You would know if they're in a really long-term relationship, right? And so you would feel kind of like, wait, do I even know you? Have you been lying to me? Right? There is a sense of betrayal and stuff like that, right? And I think that's fine. I think that feeling itself is fine because you can't control your reactions. I think the feeling of like, oh, I have this investment in this relationship and I care about this person even if I don't really know them, right? This is a relationship of a kind, right? I think it makes sense to be like, oh, there's a part of them that I don't know and that feels weird. That makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that. I think that feeling is fine. Going from that to like, therefore you're a piece of shit or like you shouldn't date anyone is stupid, right? But the feeling itself is, I think, normal. I think that makes sense because I've felt that even, you know. I actually had a lot of like consternation about it because I remember the first time when I was a teenager, an idol that I liked like got into a dating scandal and I was so angry. And I was like, why am I angry? It's like, I don't want to date this person, right? And I sort of realized, I was like, oh, okay, I just feel kind of like, oh, I guess I don't actually know this person, which I knew, but like the emotion of it was like kind of upsetting. And then I was like, all right, well, that sucks. I guess I'll just deal with this emotion, right? So here's what I think happens and why I think that's a problem, that we don't just say like the feeling is fine. You can't act on it in a crazy way, but the feeling itself is fine. Don't act on it, right? The feeling is okay. Because we tell people, because you shouldn't act on this feeling, the feeling itself is not okay. And so then that leads to even more problems. Because I feel like what is happening is this. People who are relatively normal fans, who do not want to date whoever, right? Who aren't crazy stalkers. They just have an investment. They're just a normal fan. Realize that there's something really, really big, important, whatever. There's some aspect of their idol that they don't actually know anything about, right? And they have an understandable feeling of like betrayal or distance or something, and it makes them feel sad, upset, frustrated, angry, right? If you're able to say to yourself, I'm feeling sad, upset, frustrated, angry for understandable reasons, but not, I shouldn't act on it, then that can end there, right? But if everyone's telling you like, you shouldn't be upset because you have no relationship with this person, you shouldn't care at all. Only crazy people care. Only crazy stalker fans are the ones that are upset that someone has a girlfriend. Then, like, no one actually, like, then of course you're going to be like, okay, well then I can't feel this. So then the reason that I feel, and your brain is going to come up with a bunch of like, your brain is going to come up then with reasons why you feel angry. And then that's how you get, oh, this person isn't acting like a proper idol, they should have said this earlier, they're a liar, or you displace this anger onto their partner and say like, oh, this person's tricking them, they're a terrible person, and that's how you get all this fucking drama. I feel like there would be so much less drama if we just go like, yeah, you're gonna feel some type of way about this when you learn something new about your like favorite idol. That feeling is coming from an understandable place. It's not coming from a place that you should act on. You got to deal with that feeling on your own. You got to process that feeling. You got to deal with that discomfort on your own. That's coming from an internal place. That's coming from a place where like your brain, your monkey brain doesn't understand how the internet works and so has made some wrong assumptions. That's okay. That happens. You got to deal with it. That's your own problem, right? Because anyways. That's my thinking. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I've been thinking about this a lot. I feel like there's this weird thing online that's like where like everyone's almost like obsessive about stuff. Like people are so neurotic and so obsessive that like having a thought is considered the same thing as doing something, you know? In the K-pop world, there's also a culture where everything's black and white, which adds another hard layer. Yeah, no, exactly. There's all this sort of like, this is what it means to be a proper idol. This is what it means to, you know, like be a public figure. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that. But it's like, this is why you get people who have never in their life actually they've never expressed that much care about whether someone's a proper idol or following proper idol protocol or South Korean culture. This is the most common one. It's like, oh, I can't believe they did this as a South Korean, given the Korean culture, they should have been more respectful or something like that, you know? And it's from someone who's like never cared about this ever in their life. And it's because they're trying to come up with an acceptable explanation for why they're upset. Because they don't feel like they're allowed to be upset for the real reason they're upset, which is, oh, I feel kind of betrayed. Were you actually betrayed? No, but you are still allowed to feel betrayed while knowing that you were not betrayed. And then you work through that on your own. I got distracted by the sleeve for a second. Oh, you mean my sleeve? This sleeve? It's not black and pink. Okay, all right, we're moving on. We are moving on. Next, assertive communication. Assertive communication emphasizes the importance of both people's needs. During assertive communication, a person stands up for their own needs, wants, and feelings, but also listens to and respects the needs of others. Assertive communication is defined by confidence and a willingness to compromise, okay? So you listen without interrupting, and you listen actively, okay? This is the other secret part of communication. Half the time when you are talking to someone, more than half the time, most of the time when people are talking to each other and are in conflict, they're disagreeing, when the other person is talking, you're not listening, you're like half listening, you're thinking about your own argument, right? This happens all the time. I've done this. That's why I'm talking about it. When you're disagreeing with someone, you need to actually listen to them, especially if it's someone that you actually care about. If it's someone that you like are like, I don't care about this person and I want them to go away, like I hate them or something, then like that's another thing, right? But when you're having an argument with a friend, for example, you can't spend the whole time that they're talking only listening to what are the things that I can say in response to this? What are the things that I can disagree with? What are the ways that I can, you know, tell them that they're wrong? And then you're thinking about what you're going to say and what your perspective is and the ways that they're wrong and how you're going to rebut them. That's not helpful. That's not helpful because we've all been on the receiving end of that. Does it feel like the other person's listening to you? Does it feel like the other person even cares what you're thinking about? No. So it doesn't even matter how right you are. No one's going to want to like agree with you if that's the way that you're approaching things. So it's important to listen to other people when you're arguing with them or having a conflict rather. Yeah, clearly states what you need or want, but you're still open to compromise if it's necessary, you know? Confident tone, good eye contact. Anyways, so basically, here's the scenario. Here's a scenario that I think is a pretty good one. A friend asks to borrow your car. This will be a big inconvenience. This will be a big inconvenience, okay? A passive response is like, oh, that's fine. Do you need me to fill the tank? Which, oh my god, they asked you to borrow your car. And to go beyond that, to be like, oh, I'll fill the tank for you. Even when you want to say no, that's too much. Don't do that. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't be so definitive. But that's very passive, right? And the thing is that like, so this, if you say this instead of what you want, which is to say no, how is the other person supposed to know that? Like, this is the problem, right? This is like a lot of people who are very, very nice and very, very kind. There's a point when nice becomes this, becomes overly passive. And like, this is what people talk about when they talk about like a doormat, you know? Because it's like, how are other people supposed to respect what you want when you won't tell them what you want, right? So this becomes like a problem of your own making. I've been here. It's a problem. I don't like it. You're not happy if you do this too much. So anyways, aggressive is fuck no. Why would I let you borrow my car? You're crazy to even ask. It's like, okay, that's also too much, right? That implies that, because this is a friend, right? That like, oh, there's like no way that I would ever let you use my car. When in reality, it's like, usually this is like, this is not necessary. How do I put this? This is an opening gambit. A friend asking to borrow your car, right? They're like, hey, can I borrow your car? It's not, if it's not an easy yes or an easy no, then it's like a compromise negotiation situation, right? Because if it's a friend, even if it's a big inconvenience, if they really, really need something from you, you would give it to them, right? This is part of like the deal of friendship, right? Is that like, we will inconvenience ourselves and go out of our way for our friends because they would do the same thing for us. This is like social contract stuff. Like, this is just normal. We do owe our friends that much, right? Right? So if it's like, you know, I really, really can't. Like, I need to go to an interview that day. I need my car, right? And if they're like, well, my wife will be giving birth that day. I need your car. And it's like, okay, maybe one thing supersedes the other. But then, you know, this is like communication is important, right? because like the degree to which you start having to negotiate depends on like the need of the other person and your own needs, right? And if you start with yes, no, it doesn't matter if you need to borrow it just to pick up a plant, or if you need to borrow it to take your mom home from the hospital. Like, those are two different things. But if you were gonna say yes no matter what, that's like, okay, no. You know what I mean? Does that kind of make sense? I feel like I'm not very articulate right now. It's because I haven't fully woken up yet. But yeah, okay, so some examples. There's not necessarily like right or wrong answers for each of these. I just think they're useful examples. Your boss asks you to stay late while everyone else leaves. You're always the one who stays late. And tonight you have plans, right? So a very passive way would be like, oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. You know, I guess I was gonna be kind of busy, but like, it's okay. I can cancel my plans. Like, don't worry about it. That's very passive, right? Aggressive is like, I'm always the one who stays late. Why do you ask? No, I'm not doing it tonight. I don't think that's going to get a very good response. Or you can say something, I mean, assertive looks different for everyone, but like also depends on your relationship with your boss. But to be like, oh, you know, I have plans tonight. What is it that needs to be worked on? Can we work on it as a team tomorrow? Or can, like, or let's say maybe it is an emergency. Maybe it is like someone is dying, or you work for IT for a healthcare system and the IT system has gone down and someone needs to fix it. It is kind of an emergency. It's like, okay, yeah, but you can negotiate that to say like, you know, I feel like I'm always the one who stays late. Like, is there anyone else who could stay? Or if you need me to stay because I'm the only one with expertise, could someone stay with me? Like, I don't want to work on this by myself. Like, you can push to say like, you know, this isn't easy for me. I'm not saying no, but I'm saying that this is inconvenient and extra work, and there are things that I would need to be able to do that. This is a tough one though too, because there's a power differential with your boss. It's hard to communicate clearly with someone. Communicate clearly and openly with someone if you don't feel safe doing so, and a lot of people don't feel safe doing so with their bosses because their bosses hold power over them. So that's a tough one. But your partner left a mess in the kitchen and you're too busy to clean. This is a little bit more equal, right? It's your partner. So passive is you just go clean it without saying anything or something like that, you know? Passive aggressive is like you go clean it while being like, I'm so tired. Or something like that. Aggressive is you never clean the kitchen. I can't believe that you don't love me anymore. You don't love me anymore. You don't care about me. You are terrible. Like, that's very aggressive, right? Like, why haven't you cleaned this yet? You're so terrible, or whatever. Okay, so then what would be kind of assertive? Aggressive would be trying to gaslight your significant other into cleaning the kitchen. Yes, exactly. Now that sounds manipulative. I mean, it kind of is, yeah. Yeah, just being like, you made such a big mess. I've cleaned the apartment every single day for the last 50 years. The you don't love me, etc. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. That is definitely manipulative. Don't say that. Or how to... No. Okay. I'm not saying don't say that, because you shouldn't listen to me just because I said things. But what I mean is to be nuanced. Saying things like, you don't love me, is a good way to start an argument. And maybe that's what you want to do. But assertive would be, I have a meeting in 1 minute, I'll clean it later. No, because you're too busy to clean, right? So you can be like, hey, babe, I like, there's a bit of a mess in the kitchen. I'm really busy. Like, I would really like it if we could get this cleaned up by whatever, right? And then you see what they say. Maybe they're like, oh, I'm also busy. Or they're like, maybe we can clean it together or later. Or I'm actually in the middle of it. I'm actually in the middle of something, so it doesn't make sense to clean it now. I can clean it after I'm done, you know? Or because this, as an assertive sort of responsive, like, this is what I would like, hey, I'd like the kitchen to be cleaned, right? And I'm a little too busy to do it right now. It's an opening gambit, like I said, right? It's not, I'm gonna do it or you need to do it and we need to decide right now. It's like, hey, this is what I want to happen. How do we get there? Because that allows you, it opens the door to more communication of like, oh, I'm actually not done yet. Or, oh, I was going to clean it. Like, I also am busy. So I was going to take an hour to finish this thing that I was doing, and then I was planning on cleaning it, right? There's all these things that you don't know. And if you just go straight up from like, you never cleaned the kitchen. Why is the kitchen like this? And then they're going to feel upset because they're like, bro, I was planning on cleaning the kitchen. Why are you yelling at me? Yeah. I think a good way to ask would be, could you clean XYZ when you have time? Yeah, exactly. If you're like, oh, I'm also busy, blah, 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 then it's like, okay, then that's a whole other conversation. Right? This is a classic. You're at a server, you're at a restaurant, server brings you the wrong dish. I have been this person a lot. I'm like, I guess it's fine. I'll just have the wrong dish. That's passive. Aggressive is you start yelling about it. You know, like, you're a terrible waiter. What is this wrong thing? Right? And then you start getting into an argument and all this stuff. Assertive is like, hey, I think this isn't what I ordered. I'm so sorry. And then you have you just have a conversation, because, like, again, it's usually in these situations you don't have all the information, and assuming that someone else is in an aggressive stance or in a passive stance when they're not, just is gonna get you in trouble, right? Because this is the thing that I sort of realize. It's like, a lot of the time, being passive, a lot of us who tend to be passive, we tend to think of it as like, this is me being kind, right? This is me, like, oh, it's fine. I'll just, like, I'll be a martyr. I'll, like, take the fall. Like, it's okay. I'll eat the wrong dish. Like, that's fine. Like, it's okay. Like, it's just an inconvenience to me. Like, that's okay. Like, I've been there, sort of like, you just throw a little bit of a pity party and are like, well, I'm the only one who's inconvenienced, so it's fine. But, like, there's been so many times where I get served the wrong thing, and you bring it up and they're like, oh my god, thank you so much for telling me, because it's an easy swap. It's literally just, I put this here when I meant to put it there, and I put yours there when I meant to put it here, right? Like, and you've saved them and you, like, many minutes of, like, difficulty, right? Because there's been times when, like, I've seen this happen. I can't remember if this happened to me, of, like, someone not saying something about a dish being wrong, and then that, if they had just said something, it could have been fixed in 2 minutes, and because they didn't say anything, it took like an hour to fix. You know? And then, because usually if, like, you have the wrong thing, that means other things are wrong, whatever, right? Oh yeah, this is the wrong dish, and I'm allergic to the ingredients in this. Yeah, exactly. Right, especially something like that. Like, it's important to communicate, right? Because you can do it in a nice way, in a calm way, while still being assertive, right? You don't have to be like, everything is fine, I'm never going to say what I need. And you also don't have to be like, you're terrible, this restaurant is terrible, this isn't what I ordered, you know? You can be like, this isn't what I ordered. I understand mistakes happen. What's in here right now is I am allergic to, right? Because that's also, like, important feedback. I'm the type who would eat the mistake they brought because they don't like confrontation, but communication is important. Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, it's not actually confrontation. I don't think. And, like, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to think of it as confrontation. Right? You can think of it as just like, this is just communication. And communication at times will require some friction and some conflict. Like, there's such a thing as healthy conflict, right? For example, you can think of like giving feedback to someone, right? The server could always take it in the wrong way depending on their day. I suppose that's true, but you also can't control that. Right? Telling them, hey, this is a mistake. I feel like as long as you don't start yelling or saying there's like yelling, getting aggressive verbally or physically, or saying things that are insulting, I don't think that people would really take it the wrong way. Because here's the thing, right? Like, I feel like it's uncomfortable for us to be told or to tell someone else when they've done something wrong or made a mistake. The issue is, though, that's just going to lead to more wrongs and more mistakes, and then it's going to become a bigger problem. I remember once my drive-thru order was wrong, so I parked the car and went into the restaurant to get it swapped. The manager looked like he was bracing for impact. I could tell he was surprised I was so nice about it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing too, is that like most people are either passive or aggressive when it comes to conflicts and stuff, because that's just how a lot of people are. Because we're not taught. This is, to be fair, we're not really taught how to have productive conflicts. And it's hard. It's also really, really hard. I have some training in this and I still mess up, you know? But like, yeah, it pays so much to just be kind and be firm, right? To say like, oh, this isn't what I ordered. That's it. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. You don't have to start yelling about you're going to sue this place, you're going to Karen out, you're going to whatever, right? And honestly, half the time, if you're nice, even if you're telling someone, hey, this is wrong, I need something from you, I need this to be different, if you're nice about it, they will like honestly half the time go like above and beyond, you know, genuinely. Like, I've had this happen. I've had this happen a lot. Like, being kind and understanding pays off, and you don't have to be a doormat to be kind. Old habits die hard if they're not caught. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right? Like, not to be that person, but like, what if it's like, it's a new server and they don't actually know yet how to put in allergies into their order thing, right? Into their system. So they mess it up. And they mess it up for you, and maybe like it's not that big deal, it's not that big of an allergy, or it's actually not an allergy, it's more of a preference, but you didn't really know how to communicate that, or whatever, right? You gotta communicate when these mistakes are made so they can correct it. Otherwise, you're gonna keep doing it wrong. You know? Right? And the thing is, it's like, if something's happened once, it's more likely to happen again. Like, this is something we say in psychiatry all the time. The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior, right? If something has happened once, that makes it much more likely to happen again. This is why, if you've been hit by lightning once, you are more likely to be hit by lightning a second time. Like, you know what raises your risk of being hit by lightning? Having been hit by lightning already, right? Because that means that you're already the kind of person who does behaviors, puts yourself in situations where you're going to get hit by lightning, right? Past behavior predicts future behavior. So if someone like messes up your order or makes a mistake or does whatever, it means they're likely to do it again. And honestly, I feel like the kindest thing to do is for you to be the person to tell them that in a nice way, than to not say anything, deal with their mistake, the consequences of their mistake yourself, and then they do it in a higher stakes situation or with someone who's an asshole. Would that be fate then? There are some people who've been hit by lightning more than once. That's why we know this. One time another customer at a restaurant I was at flew off the handle, threw a plate of gyoza at the server. Jesus. Ooh. It got out of the way and it hit me instead, so now I'm roped into it. What really pissed me off is that he was super apologetic to me, but evidently didn't think anything would be wrong about the situation if it actually did hit the server. That's crazy. See, oh my god. That's crazy that some people could do that. Like, how do you not see another person as a human being, you know? Like, I'm not saying that everyone in your life needs to be treated exactly the same, but you should at least consider everyone as, you know, worthy of basic respect and humanity. You know what I mean? Anyways. Well, the thing is, that person probably doesn't think there would be anything wrong with it hitting the server, because their perspective is probably one of, this person made me angry, so they deserve to also get hurt. You didn't make them angry, so you're not the intended target. But if you did make them angry, they would throw a plate of gyoza at you. Probably. Sorry to the person you hit by accident, but not the person who was intended for the situation happening in the first place. Wow. Yeah, because they don't see a problem with it. They're like, this person, because this is the... Okay, let me just go back. Because now we're just going to be talking for a little bit. Hello. Okay, so this is literally exactly what I was talking about, right? If you don't have the perspective that you could have strong emotions for unrealistic or unreasonable reasons, right? Then you're gonna become this person. Like, something that I really do believe is that there's only so much that we can do to control our emotional reactions to things, right? There's only so much we can do to control our innate, like, knee-jerk reactions to things, right? Like, someone said this to me once, right? Like, your first thought about someone, that's like societal stereotypes, that's expectations, that's like culture. Your second thought and what you actually do is you, right? So this is where it's like, it's important to deal with things like internalized racism, sexism, homophobia, all those things, right? Because I think all of us have had the situations where you think something and you're like, oh, that was a weird thought. That was a very stereotypical thought. Let's not do that. Let's not act on that thought, right? You have to be able to tolerate the idea that you could be wrong, or that you could overreact, or that you could have incorrect thoughts, to be able to see them when they happen and to stop them from affecting you, right? So this person, I'm just gonna guess, does not have that perspective, which is normal. A lot of people don't, right? But like, if you're the kind of person who is not self-reflective, you're going to be like, okay, I'm in the situation, and then this server does something that makes me so incandescently angry, right? Maybe it's like reminds them of something else, maybe it's they've already had a bad day, there could be a million reasons, but it makes them like so incredibly angry. Like, this person is attacking me, right? This person said something that makes me think that they think that I'm stupid, or they're trying to take advantage of me, or they're whatever, right? They make me so angry. And if you don't have the perspective of like, okay, I'm gonna have feelings that don't need to be acted on, I'm going to have feelings that come from a place that are not from this current situation, what your brain does is go, you're this angry for a reason. And if you aren't able to say, it's an internal reason that I just need to deal with, your brain's gonna go, it's this person. It's entirely this person's fault that I feel this angry, right? And if I feel this angry, I should be this angry, they must have done something wrong, so they deserve to be punished. You know? And that's the problem, right? you gotta be self-aware enough, self-reflective enough, and effacing or humble, not narcissistic enough to realize I'm gonna have feelings that don't need to be acted on. I'm gonna be like so angry, and it's like it's not gonna be this server's problem. I'm gonna be angry at this person, and they don't deserve that, right? That's why. The fuck you gain from throwing a plate at someone? You gain the feeling of I've punished them for their wrongdoing, for making me feel angry. I always love the conversations here. I'm glad. There's no such thing as a thought crime, only until it's acted upon. Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as a thought crime. Your thoughts don't actually hurt other people. Your thoughts are your own. Yeah, you're allowed to think, I want to sideswipe this motorcycle driver because they're driving like a maniac, but it's on you to realize that's not a thought you should act on. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Like, it's totally normal to be like, this person cut me off. Oh my god, I'm so fucking angry. That's normal. Yeah, don't chase them down the road, though. That's the crazy person stuff. Hopefully this question makes sense, but how would you deal with not knowing how to deal with situations because you haven't dealt with them due to lack of parental involvement, emotion-wise? Oh, can you give me an example? Because I'm not quite sure what you mean. Because you haven't dealt with them. Like an emotional situation or like a conversational situation? Because I think I get what you mean, but I'm not totally sure I'm following. You know? Like, I mean, overall though, what I would say is this is why communication is important, right? Because communication is the bedrock for being able to figure out new situations, right? And this is the other corollary. You can't communicate what you're thinking and feeling unless you know what you're thinking and feeling, and that also takes time to practice. If you have lived a life where you're not practiced at even paying attention to your own thoughts and your own feelings and wants and desires, then it's going to be hard to communicate that, you know? You know? So that's one thing. Being able to self-assess and see, reflect, and take a beat and to say, like, this is how I feel, this is what I want. Communicating that clearly. Like, you want to be able to start with as little artifice or barriers as possible. Okay, like, since parents are supposed to teach you how to deal with things your parents are supposed to teach you how to deal with. Like, for me, I'm not happy with the fact that I reached out to my previous workplace since I left to help family, and they said they don't have the payroll to take any more of this time, and it was the best thing money-wise. Like, sharing experience on their end to say, oh, this and this. Oh, like, how to deal with professional situations. I mean, there's two parts to this. One is, what you're talking about is, like, how do I deal with a situation that I've never dealt with before when I don't have the default people that most people would turn to ask, like, what should I do? Or, like, have you been in a similar situation? What are the rules here? What am I supposed to be doing, right? And the answer to that is you find someone else. And that is why, like, social networks and stuff like that are important. But there's plenty of places, like, either between, like, friends, like people that you trust, people who you think are good people, whose advice you would listen to. That's one thing. The other thing would be, like, this is the one good thing about the internet, I think, is that there's lots of people who've had similar experiences probably online and who probably have written about them. And that's what I tend to look for, you know. This is like, you know, there's like bad parts of every website, every social media platform. But this is where stuff like Reddit, I think, actually is pretty good. As you can go and like get advice from people who have been in similar situations or have been on the other side of the situation you're talking about. Yeah. It can also be helpful. And there's the thing, like, just like you just how do I put this? Something that makes this hard is if you're not used to leaning on or asking for help from other people, right? And this is why a lot of people have a lot of issues if they don't have parents who are able to help them with this, or don't feel like they can rely on their parents for this, because I think family is one of the few places where socially it's like kind of more acceptable to lean on them and to ask things of them, even though that's getting less common. But most people want to help each other, you know. I think most people are altruistic. So it doesn't even have to be a social forum that is designed for like work talk stuff. Like any Discord you're a part of, you could probably ask for help. You know, you could ask in our Discord. Yeah, like you could ask in our Discord. Like our community has a lot of like 20 somethings or even late 20 somethings, 30 somethings. So like people who've like worked in professional environments and stuff. So you can always ask. You're not the only person who's experienced stuff like this. That's what I would say. But getting back to what I was talking about before, it's important to know your own emotions and stuff. And it's hard. And I think it's extra hard. This is the other part of why I feel like social media is a problem. Because everything is so fast-paced and so constant, it like enables all of us to use distraction and intellectualization to not confront and manage our own feelings. You know? Alright, because I'm gonna tell you a secret. You're probably not aware of more than half of the reasons why you do the things that you do, or why you say the things that you say, or feel the things that you feel. Like, it's hard. Because let me tell you about, oh, I have a great example for this. Okay. Here is my example for why your consciousness actually is not aware of a lot of the stuff, right? Of a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of the decisions that you make, actions that you take, behaviors that you do are not consciously chosen. You just think that they are. And here's my proof, question mark, something like that. It's something like proof. Think about advertising. Think about how much money people spend on advertising. Like, companies spend so much money on advertising that advertising it alone is basically the bedrock for all social media like funding, right? Like, think of how big social media is. Think of how big like being a content creator, influencer, all that stuff is, and realize that all of that is basically funded by advertising money, right? And yet, how many times would you think in your life, consciously, I'm only buying this because of an ad? How many people in your life would say, I'm only buying this because of an ad? An ad influenced me to buy this. Like, maybe it's maybe more common now, especially to say like, oh, this influencer influenced me to buy this thing, right? But like, none of us see ourselves as particularly influenceable, right? Like, no one is like, oh yeah, I'm just so susceptible to any and all advertising. Advertising just gets to me. These commercials work so well on me. No one thinks that. But clearly they do. They must. These things must work because these companies would not spend this much money if they didn't, right? So how can those two things be true? That most people, almost all people would say, oh, advertising doesn't really work on me. And yet we spend billions and billions of dollars on advertising and it clearly does work. How do you square that? Well, it's because it does work, just unconsciously. It works it works without your awareness, and this is true of other people, but it's true of you. It is true of yourself. And that is a weird thing to acknowledge, but it's important to acknowledge. Think of your consciousness, like your self-monologue. It's not actually explaining the real reasons why you do what you do or say what you say. It's coming up with an explanation that makes sense. Our consciousness is a really good storyteller. And it'll come up with reasons for why we do or say things that make like internal sense with our self-conception and with our conception of the world. But that doesn't mean it's always accurate. This is what I think. You know? Because like, think about it. There's so many times, like I've done this, right? I've done this so much where I'm like, let's say, oh, dang, I forgot this thing, so we can't have this meeting. You know, I totally double booked this thing, so we can't do this meet. I'm avoiding something that I'm anxious about. But what I tell myself and what I tell other people and what I do genuinely believe until I think about it for like more than 5 minutes is, oh, I just forgot. Like, it's just been getting in the way. You know? So like your brain, your consciousness tells you a plausible story that makes sense. But it's not always the actual reason. And this is why when you go to therapy, talk therapy, a lot of it is like, well, I've noticed that XYZ pattern. Why do you think that is? You know? Because usually patterns are like, not for no reason. It's interesting to see how quickly we adapted to online social life, but we still kind of suck at it. I mean, yeah, we've adapted to it kind of, but we're not like built for this. Not at all. Yeah, no, we're not built for this. We're built for like 150 people colonies or something like that. But yeah. Okay, I gotta go soon. Does anyone have any questions? Do we have any questions? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm just checking to see if I missed any YouTube comments. I don't think I did. Or at least I don't see any from the last 10 minutes or so. 150 apple colonies. I know, right? I have a question. Yes, Fanny. I just drank a lot of water. No question? Yes question? No question? I tend to over-explain things when I communicate. Is that a bad thing? I'm gonna say my favorite phrase. It's not good or bad. I mean, I don't think it's inherently a good or a bad thing, but it sounds like it bothers you, right? It sounds like it bothers you that you've noticed it, or you're self-conscious about it, or maybe it's gotten in the way of things at some point. It's probably worth then thinking about, like, why do you feel the need to over-explain? Right? Like, is it from like a fear of being misunderstood? Is it like from excitement? You know? It's better to have more detail in communication, in my opinion. Well, I think so too. I think it is usually good to have more detail. But sometimes, I guess, because I also tend to over-explain, I think it can come off as like thinking the other person doesn't understand or is stupid, or sometimes you start speaking over other people. I've done that where I feel the need to over-explain, but then I start interrupting people or talking over them, or like not getting their cues, you know? So yeah, doesn't bother me that much, but I think it leads to more misunderstandings. Yeah, think about it like this. This is what my guess. When it's the I forget which person made a video on this, but in terms of rules of communication, when we give more information than is necessary, the other party will begin to wonder why, right? And so they'll try to come up with a reason. And if you're not like necessarily on the same page when it comes to like how much explanation is a normal amount of explanation, then they can maybe be a little bit confused, right? It's like the now with no arsenic. Or sorry, oh, I promise this doesn't have arsenic in it, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's the I wouldn't have thought this was a prank until you said, I promise this isn't a prank. Because why did you need to say that? You know? And that's like over information and how that can lead to misunderstandings, I think. Because it can be perfectly true, right? It's like, oh, but I don't think you're an asshole, and I also don't think that you're a terrible person, and I promise that, you know, I really do like you. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. Like, people are gonna like, even if everything you said is honest, when you give too much information, people will start to think like, why are you saying this? But it's tough, right? Because like where everyone's threshold is for like when is information becoming extra information is different. Sorry, I'm dancing. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I think it's kind of an info overload to explain too much. That's also true. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh my god. Is that Cult of the Lamb? Why does it look like that? Oh my god, Slime is playing Cult of the Lamb and it's like a bullet hell. Oh god, is that what awaits me? Is that bullet hell what awaits me? Oh god. Oh no. I don't know if I want to keep playing this game. I don't know if I want to keep playing this game. I'm gonna be so for real right now. Now I'm scared. Alright, well. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow for some music stuff. gonna do some music stuff. I might like practice some of the request songs or work on recording stuff or covers or work on making it something or other. We'll figure it out. It'll just be like chill music hang. Yeah. Alright guys, I love you guys so much. Have a lovely rest of your day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Be normal. Be happy. Mwah.